In today's episode, we're going to cover how to create a better calculator than last time. So in this tutorial, we're going to take a use of variables and if statements, as well as user input, to create a simple calculator, which will be a bit more complicated than the previous one. If you can remember, in our last calculator, you could simply input two numbers and it would add them together or something like that. In this calculator, we're going to create it so that the user inputs the first number, then they have to input the operator, and after that they input the second number, and after that the calculation happens automatically and it just tells you the number. So we're going to simply start by creating the first variable. We're going to call it num1, and we're going to give it user input. So input brackets, and then we're going to give it a prompt of please enter the first number. But if you can remember, the user input is automatically set to be a string. So if we actually want to do calculations on it, we have to change that input into a number. So we're going to use the float function for that. Let's wrap the function around the input. Float, open bracket, and then the close bracket at the end. Doing it this way, though, is going to give us errors if the user is actually trying to input something that is not an actual number. So for example, he's just going to enter a letter or a symbol. The program is just going to crash. So the second thing we're going to ask will be the operator. Let's call it OP. And once again, let's ask for user input. Please enter the operator. And lastly, we're going to ask for the second number. We're going to do it the same way we did the first one. And now that we have our input data at the beginning, we're going to actually use if statements to manage that data and then do the correct calculations. So first, let's check if the operator is the plus sign. And if it is, we're going to print num1 plus num2. Now, if that's not the case, so for example, let's say we enter the minus symbol, we're going to use the else if. So elif op equals minus, we're going to print out num1 minus num2. Let's do the same thing for multiplication and division. And now at the very end of it, we're going to check if the user entered an invalid operator. So let's use the else command. And let's print out invalid operator. And that actually should be our program ready to go. So let's run it now. And as you can see, it asks us to enter the first number. Let's say 5. Please enter the operator. Let's try the minus. And then let's say 2.5. And the result is 2.5. As you can see, it works. So let's try that once more. This time, let's try the division. So let's say 100 divided by 25. And it says 4. As you can see, the calculator already works. You can try all 4 of these operators. So now I'm going to check what happens if we actually enter the invalid operator. So let's enter the first number. Let's say 5. Then let's try to enter the operator. Let's say and then the second number 2 is just printing out invalid operator. And yeah, that's it. See ya.